But here's what we're going to talk about today. As commercial photographers, our work goes far beyond capturing the visually appealing image, right? We're storytellers, and we're tasked with creating narratives that resonate with people, and that compels them to an action. You see, that's what we do. Our work compels people to take an action, whether it's purchasing a product, or maybe it's supporting a cause, or simply shifting a perspective one way or the other, right? The photographs that we as commercial photographers create, they have to evoke some sort of emotion. They have to, okay? They have to build trust. They have to offer a compelling reason to believe in them. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So to achieve this, we have to tap into the power of three fundamental principles of persuasion and communication: pathos, ethos, and logos. Understanding the balance of pathos, ethos, and logos, it's important. It's hugely important. And understanding the placement of each one of these, pathos, ethos, and logos, understanding the purpose, the placement, and the balance of pathos, ethos, and logos, incredibly important in what I do as a commercial photographer, because it's key. These are key elements, right, to crafting photographs that leave a lasting impact on people. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to do as a commercial photographer. I am trying to as a commercial photographer, I'm trying to connect with people and leave a lasting image that, from the time you see this commercial on television or the time you see it in an ad, right, to the time that you go to the supermarket, I need that to stay fresh in your mind. It's simple. It's pathos, ethos, and logos. And what I do has to have a lasting impact. So ethos in anything really refers to the credibility and trustworthiness of the communicator, right? In our case, it's the photographer, okay? And it's also about the brand that we represent as photographers. So this is all hugely important, okay? We have to establish a strong ethos, and doing that is essential in commercial photography and what we do, right? This lays the foundation for viewer engagement, okay? And there's several ways that we can build ethos into our photography, and we're going to talk about some of that right now. So professionalism. You have to develop polished images that demonstrate your expertise and your commitment to excellence by showing that professionalism. Whatever you define professionalism is, right? By demonstrating that professionalism, it's going to take you so far. And my brand of professionalism: baseball cap, colorful, sleek watch, and a t-shirt usually, okay? This is my casual brand of business casual professionalism. I own that. I may not be the sexiest guy in the world, but I own who I am. And that conveys some professional ethos. The next thing is consistency. So a cohesive visual style across your portfolio that really showcases your brand identity, whether it's black and white, whether it's color, whether it's portraits, whether it's action shots, whatever it is. that shows your brand identity and builds familiarity with what you are and what you do. We're primarily known for two things: portraits and landscapes, and action shots a little bit to some extent, because I used to do sports photography quite a bit. But this is all the salt and pepper that builds into that brand, into that ethos, right? And so consistency is key. The next thing is transparency. Being open about our process and our intentions. These things can foster a what's the word I'm looking for? It can foster a trust, and it can foster a sense of authenticity by being transparent about our process and showing people. A lot of times I'll take BTS, behind the scenes stuff, and I'll show it to a client. A lot of times that wins me the job. Maybe because I'm being real and I'm being genuine and I'm being professional and I'm being transparent. I'm saying, hey, look, here's my studio. Here's how I work with things. Here's how I work with brands. This is all stuff that makes sense. Okay? Transparency in how you do something. It's key. The next thing is social proof. Client testimonials, awards, and positive reviews. These things reinforce our reputation and validate our skills. But I want to remind you, it's not the only thing. Maybe you're just starting out as a commercial photographer and you don't have the rave reviews. I want to tell you something. Reviews still mean a lot, but they don't mean as much as you think they do. Because your competitors can easily go out there and put fake reviews up about you. People can go and pay people to write positive reviews about them. All over Google, all over Yelp. Paid reviews are everywhere. So while social proof is good, reviews aren't the end all be all. Take them seriously, but your competitors and people who just get mad at you, they can say and do anything. Okay? And that doesn't necessarily reflect on who you are as a creator or a photographer. But keep in mind, you should have some good social proof to show that you can do the job. And that doesn't necessarily mean a lot of likes and dislikes on Facebook and having a lot of followers on Instagram or whatever. That does not necessarily equate social proof. So think about that. The next thing we're going to talk about is pathos, evoking emotion and connection in our art. So pathos is the emotional appeal, right, of a message. Some people will say it's probably the most important thing that we can do as photographers, okay? But this pathos is about tapping into the viewer's feelings, okay? About tapping into their desires and their aspirations and everything that motivates them to do something. Pathos is the emotion. In powerful commercial photographs, they ignite emotion, okay? Whether it's joy, nostalgia, excitement, or even a sense of urgency even. Commercial photos have to evoke emotion. And that's where pathos comes in. So in the next section, we're going to talk about how we can capture that pathos. So be authentic. Capture genuine moments and emotions in our subject whenever we're working with talent, right? Whenever we're working with people, you have to be able to capture that authenticity, to to pull that out of people, to help them grow, okay, to help them connect. Whether it's spraying perfume or spraying a scent or playing a specific type of music or setting the lighting right or just simply creating the studio or going to a place that's going to help bring out that authenticity. That's key to building that pathos. The next key here is storytelling. Okay? So we use visual elements to create a narrative, right? That resonates with the target audience, whoever they are. Whether it's coffee, a coffee cup, the coffee in the cup. I'll try to do this without making a mess, but yeah, the coffee in the cup. You know, a person making coffee, a person smelling coffee, whatever that is. We're trying to create some sort of emotion in what we're doing. And I may have just gone way off topic on storytelling, because storytelling can be a wide thing, a very wide thing. And we have to be able to convey that sense of smell, that sense of touch, that sense of feeling in the photos that we're creating to help tell a good story. Symbolism is really important. Symbolism incorporates imagery that evokes universal emotion. Okay? Maybe it even invokes cultural references too. Symbolism is hugely important in what we do. Symbolism. Texas. Symbolism. Redneck. Symbolism. Country boy. Whatever the symbolism. A very expensive Garmin watch. You know, it's symbolism. Symbolism. It's everywhere. And you have to think about symbolism and how that relates to your brand and to the story that you're trying to tell. Here's one for you. The next one is color psychology. You're thinking, what? Well, let me tell you. Use color palettes that align with the desired emotional response from your consumer, right? From your target audience. So warm tones equal comfort, right? Cool tones equal sophistication. Trust me on this. If you've never done commercial photography and you've never studied commercial photography, color psychology is huge. Me, I use earth tones and dark colors for my personal brand. Okay, this is what I do. Little black and white, okay? Because I know that's who I'm trying to connect with. For me, it's the more serious photographer who's worried more about the message and the art and the creativity and really learning something than just simply about being entertained. That's who I'm trying to connect with. I'm trying to connect with the art buyer, the creative director, somebody out there like that who wants to spend some time having a conversation. So I use a lot of earth tones, a lot of very natural tones in what I do. And also it complements me very, very well. At least I think so. And I've been told so by my image consultants who I work with. But the truth is that color psychology, we have to know before we're shooting the photo what the psychology of the person is, or the target audience is, that's being shot for. Okay? That's hugely important. And so when you're having these discussions with the creative director, whoever, you're going to have this discussion about the color palettes, because color psychology builds pathos. It helps you tell the story. So the next part of this is logos, right? Logic. Appealing to the logical photograph, right? And this is the reason. This is where reason comes into this, right? So logos, like I said, is the logical appeal, right? Based on facts, statistics, and evidence, whatever, right? So while emotion is most often the driving force, okay, commercial photographers, we can also benefit from a touch of logos in what we do, logic. And this helps kind of solidify the message. So in the next little segment here, we're going to go into explaining some things on how we use logos in commercial photography. One way that we establish logos is through visual evidence, right? So we show the product in action. We highlight its benefits. We demonstrate its effectiveness. We really want to build that visual evidence, no matter what it is. And sometimes that can all be in one photo, and a lot of times it has to be in just one single photo. And sometimes we take multiple photos to get that photo, even if we only have 8 minutes and 45 seconds with the talent, right? We have to be able to visually storytell and be able to visually storytell quickly. So balancing ethos, pathos, and logos in our photography. The most successful commercial photographs, they strike this harmonious balance of ethos, pathos, and logos, right? And too much ethos without pathos, man, it can feel sterile. It can feel impersonal. It can create a real problem, and you're going to feel that in what you do. Too much pathos without logos, that can feel manipulative, right? And we want to stay away from that, right? And maybe it can be overly sentimental even. Not just manipulative, but overly sentimental. It's all over the place, guys. So we want to avoid too much pathos without logos. And then too much logos without ethos, that can be dry and largely unconvincing. So you see, you have to strike this balance. You have to strike this balance here. And that's where being a real pro that understands this stuff comes into play at. So if you're thinking you're just going to pick up a camera and you're going to start shooting product and that makes you a commercial photographer and all this and that, think again. You're going to have to think deeper. You're going to have to dig deeper. And digging deeper is this ethos, logos, pathos, this logic of persuasion in one single photograph. All right, so think of a Nike ad, right? Let's just think of a Nike ad. So ethos, what is the ethos? It's that iconic swoosh, right? It's recognizable worldwide, okay? Use of that logo and the use of professional athletes, this establishes Nike's credibility, okay? What about pathos? Well, the athlete's determination and this kind of uplifting music that they use, right? It evokes emotion in it evokes inspiration, right? And it also evokes motivation. So if you go to Nike's Instagram or you go to Nike's Facebook or their website, whatever, you're seeing this pathos everywhere, even without the music. It's a visual pathos. Now, what about logos? Now, the ad might subtly mention the shoe's technology, maybe, right? In the copy space, right? It might subtly mention that. It might also show the performance. Maybe the shoe is running. Maybe they're jumping through the air, whatever the case may be, right? Maybe they're on the golf course. Nike is showing in that ad their product at work. They're not just telling you. So you see how they used pathos, ethos, and logos in their photography. It's crazy. So, in conclusion of this, what I think turned into be a pretty long video, by mastering the art of persuasion through ethos, pathos, and logos, right? Commercial photographers, we can create photographs that not only captivate people, but also drive them to action, which is really our job. It's about understanding that our work isn't just, it's not about aesthetics. It's about connecting with people in a much deeper way and connecting and building a level of trust with them and ultimately influencing their decision. That's what we do as commercial photographers. And we're part of a much bigger team, with, like I said, you've heard me mention a million times, creative directors, art directors, producers. Sometimes when I'm on set, I hire my own producer to help me produce photos. Sometimes Kelly acts as a producer. Kelly's a great producer. These are all important to establishing pathos, ethos, and logos in our commercial photography. And you can do this in your own personal brand. So always keep that credibility, logic, and reason in mind. I'm Matt. I'm a commercial photographer here in San Antonio, Texas. And I work alongside my wife. Our company is Route 3 Productions. Remember, take great photos and drink even better coffee.